Welcome back, children. We are continuing the chapter Breathing and Gaseous Exchange for class 11, and this is to be sent into the next fourth week of November. And here we are discussing three important questions that you may not get from the direct reading from the text. Let's now consider this. Okay? Now the first question. What are the factors favorable for the formation of oxygen, formation of oxyhemoglobin in alveoli? You know, one important thing. The oxygen-rich air enters the alveoli from the atmosphere. Okay? Inside the alveoli, the partial pressure of oxygen is 104 millimeter mercury. Okay, that means the partial pressure of oxygen is very high in the alveoli. Okay? From the alveoli with high partial pressure of oxygen, the oxygen diffuses into the blood of blood of the capillaries. Oxygen diffuses into the blood of the capillaries where the partial pressure of oxygen is less than 94 millimeter mercury. You got it? So this difference in the partial pressure, it means that the alveoli contain high partial pressure of oxygen than the partial pressure of oxygen present in the blood of the capillaries. So the first factor for this gaseous exchange of oxygen from alveoli into the blood is that the alveoli contain high partial pressure of oxygen. Okay, that is one of the factors. Now the second, third and fourth factor is that partial pressure of carbon dioxide should be less in the alveoli. Okay? Hydrogen ion concentration also should be low, and there should be low temperature. So only partial pressure of oxygen will be more in the alveoli, and other three factors, what are they? The temperature will be low, then hydrogen ion concentration should be low, and also carbon dioxide concentration also should be low. So what are the four factors which facilitate the diffusion of oxygen from alveoli into the blood and combine with the hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin? So what are the four factors that favor the combination of oxygen with the hemoglobin? Okay, in the alveoli there are three important factors should exist. First one, high partial pressure of oxygen, then low partial pressure of carbon dioxide, low temperature, and also low hydrogen ion concentration. In these four conditions, the oxygen inside the alveoli combine with the hemoglobin and form oxyhemoglobin. Now the hemoglobin, so you know hemoglobin transport around 97%. 97% of the oxygen will be transported in this form, in this way, by hemoglobin of the RBC. You got this? Very important point. Now the second thing you have to remember is, inside the tissues, okay, oxyhemoglobin transport the oxygen near the tissues, okay, through the blood. So when inside the tissue, there should be some conditions, the opposite conditions. Inside the tissue, there should be low partial pressure of oxygen, high partial pressure of carbon dioxide, high concentration of hydrogen ion, and also high temperature, high concentration of carbon dioxide and high concentration of hydrogen ion, and less concentration of or less partial pressure of oxygen should be there in the tissues. Then the blood, inside of the blood, oxyhemoglobin dissociate, and oxygen will enter into the diffuse into the tissues. So in the tissues there should be these conditions. Okay, low partial pressure of oxygen, high partial pressure of carbon dioxide, then high temperature, high concentration of oxygen and high temperature. This condition should be there in the tissues. Then only the hemoglobin dissociates to form hemoglobin in the blood and oxygen diffuses into the tissues. You got this? Okay, that's all about it. Now, another important point, every 100 ml of oxygenated blood delivered around 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues. But every 100 ml of blood can transfer more than 20 ml of carbon dioxide and supply to the alveoli. So you have to understand that the onward movement of the oxygen in the form of oxyhemoglobin to the tissues are less rate as compared to the backward movement of the carbon dioxide in the form of carboxyhemoglobin from the tissues to the lungs. So less amount of oxygen will be transported to the tissues, and from the tissues more of carbon dioxide will be transported to the alveoli. This is because the affinity of hemoglobin to the carbon dioxide is very higher. That is around 20%. You have to remember 20 to 30%. Here only 5% of oxygen can be transported by 100 ml of blood to the tissues. Keep in mind. So this point you have to remember. Now what do you understand by this equation given here? Actually, this equation indicates the transport of carbon dioxide from the tissues to the alveoli. As I told you, the carbon dioxide has more affinity with the hemoglobin. You can understand that the more hemoglobin will, more carbon dioxide will combine with the hemoglobin from the tissues to the hemoglobin in the RBC in the blood. Okay, so we have to understand. So here in the tissues, we can understand carbon dioxide combines with the water. In the plasma contains water. It is around 7% carbon dioxide will be transported with the dissolved form in the plasma, but 20 to 25% carbon dioxide will be transported in the form of RBC, whereas 70% of the carbon dioxide from the tissues transported in the form of bicarbonate, 70%. You have to understand. So we can understand in tissues there are some enzymes, carbonic anhydrase. This enzyme favor the formation of carboxyhemoglobin. Okay, you have to understand carboxyhemoglobin formation in the tissues favored by carbonic anhydrase enzyme. So carbon dioxide combined with water in the plasma and form carboxyhemoglobin. Okay. Then actually carboxyhemoglobin is it is very, very important to remember when carbon dioxide combined with the hemoglobin. Here I am telling about the carbon dioxide combined with the plasma. Okay, and this indicates both the steps. Carbon dioxide combined with the water or diffuses into the RBC. It is favored by the carbonic anhydrase enzyme and form bicarbonate. This bicarbonate, carbonic acid. This is called carbonic acid. Carbonic acid now in the presence of carbonic anhydrase become bicarbonate. This is called bicarbonate. Bicarbonate and hydrogen. Okay. Then when it reaches the alveoli or near the alveolar blood, we can see the bicarbonate now. Okay, bicarbonate now goes back to the alveoli. This alveoli, it goes back to the alveoli in the opposite manner. Okay. Here you can understand the bicarbonate combined with the hydrogen and the presence of iron and carbonic acid is formed near the alveoli. In return, what happens from the tissues? This will return in the form of bicarbonate, then carbonic acid, and now it becomes carbon dioxide and oxygen before entering into the. So we can understand that bicarbonate dissociates into carbon dioxide and water in the blood near the alveoli in the return journey. So this is onward movement and this is return movement of carbon dioxide. Okay, this reaction you have to remember. Thank you very much.